What if I told you there is an abandoned asylum in New Jersey where patients literally froze to death in their beds? And it still stands today. That is the Essex County Hospital Centre, also known as Overbrook Asylum, one of the most chilling abandoned hospitals in America. It first opened in the late 1800s to treat the mentally ill, but back then treatment often meant things we would consider horrifying today. Patients were subjected to electroshock therapy, lobotomies and heavy drugs that left many in a permanent haze. Overcrowding was so bad that some people slept on the floors, lined up in hallways, with barely enough staff to care for them. One of the darkest moments came in 1917 when the asylum's boilers failed during a brutal winter storm. With no heat, nearly 24 patients froze to death in their beds. It was a tragedy that shook the state, but instead of shutting the place down, officials kept it running for decades. By the 1970s, reports of abuse and neglect began to surface, patients wandering outside in the cold, locked rooms covered in filth, and mysterious deaths that were rarely explained. When the hospital finally closed in 2007, the buildings were left behind, decaying and crumbling into the woods. Explorers who sneak inside today say the walls are still covered with old patient charts, wheelchairs left to rust, and padded rooms that feel like they are holding on to every scream ever heard inside. Some claim to hear footsteps following them, doors slamming shut, and even shadowy figures watching from the end of the hallway. The Essex County Hospital is slowly being demolished, but the land itself still carries the weight of everything that happened there. It is one of those places where even in broad daylight the silence feels heavy, like the building is remembering what it witnessed. Would you ever step inside an abandoned asylum like this, knowing what went on within those walls? Follow for more.